Proverbs 26 out of 50. Proverbs 3 verse 5 through 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him and he will make straight your paths. 2 Corinthians 5:7. For we walk by faith, not by sight. What a lovely thing. Amen. Obedience and faith is oftentimes hard because you need to face everything you don't want to face. People cover things, hide things, run away from things, but with God you have to confront everything regardless of how it makes you feel, and that's where the growth is. With God, it's always about your wrongs and fixing them, character development, healing, pruning off dead branches, a lot of tedious processes that you might not want to be a part of, but it's crucial for your growth. Now, I want to talk about the operations of faith and what faith truly is, because it can mean various different things. It's multi-dimensional. Abraham had to build his faith before he could take corresponding actions, aka walking out in faith. We can have faith in our hearts, but our actions can speak a different story. And many of the times, like I said, faith and obedience will usually make you confront the things you don't want to confront all the time. And as people, we don't want to change. But with God, he's changing you all the time. And that's where growth is in the uncomfortability. Number one, so you have faith in your heart, you believe it in your inner man. Number two, you begin taking corresponding actions to match your belief. Number three would be the words you speak that are aligned to your corresponding actions. How do you speak to situations? How do you speak to problems? This perspective shift in understanding comes from knowing or having an understanding of God's character and faithfulness, which takes time. Wisdom and revelation of who God is will make you begin speaking differently because you have understanding rather than deception. It took Abraham a long time of being poured into and stirred up before he took actions in faith. We think faith is major belief or imagining the greatest thing possible or how grand and great God is. But the one thing I've noticed with God is his attention to detail. God doesn't skip a single step when he's building a person, and it can feel tedious and insignificant. And that's why God says, don't despise the days of small beginnings, because that's the foundation and the groundwork which every other layer is going to be added onto. When it comes to guitar, the fundamentals, the basics, how to strum up and down, how to hold the guitar, how to tune it, the very tedious things that feel like they don't mean anything at all, actually mean everything. Because if you skip a step in the beginning, it's going to show in the latter end, but it will be magnified. So try not to despise the day of small beginnings and the things that seem insignificant. I know we all want the end result and what God promised, but it's the journey that molds the character to hold, steward, and obtain what God has promised. And there needs to be refinements, purification, purging, cleansing, healing, building, growing, developing, processing. Every great man and woman of God in the Bible went through processes that weren't great. Example, the reason King David became a great king is because he was under a terrible king. God's thoughts and God's ways are higher than ours, even if you like it or not.